Hello everyone. I decided to make this video to review some of the things we've discussed in the first session of our Spring Java. First of all, in this term we will be using the NetBeans IDE, Integrated Development Environment, which is a professional grade environment for writing Java code. The first thing that we did is see how we can create a generic Java project in NetBeans. To do that, you go to File, you create a new project, you select a Java application, and I will store my Java application into this C folder that I created, and I will call it Hello World. We will see now that Java created this new project here. It created also a Hello World Java source file, and it created this main method that is part of Hello World. This main method is the entry point into our Hello World application. So that means it's the first thing that executes once I run the project. I will write a very simple line of code here instructing Java to print something to the console. And once I'm done with this, I will click this green arrow here to run my project. And what happens is that Hello World gets printed into this console window, this output window over here. Now another way to run the project would be from run, or by right-clicking Hello World, the code file that has the main function or main method, and select run file from there. So this is how you create a generic project in NetBeans and run it. Now NetBeans has a few really nice features to help you code. One is the highlighting, the intelligent highlighting of various parts of code, such as class names, particular keywords, particular types of variables, here a string variable. The other thing, the other option is code completion. So if we press dot here after system, we get a list of all the methods and all the variables contained in the system class. And this happens for all types of classes. So out now, we can find print line. You can also click on some of these options and get documentation for it. Another thing that NetBeans does for us is it detects whether we have certain errors in our code. For example, I've removed the semicolon after this line of code, and now NetBeans produces this red squiggle to inform me that something is wrong with my syntax. If I hover over this sign here, then I can see that NetBeans suggests that we should add a semicolon after the line of code. NetBeans doesn't catch all types of errors that a program can produce. It only catches errors that occur during compile time, so not runtime errors. It will catch syntactic errors like this, but it will not catch an error that happens while the program is running. Here's another thing that NetBeans can do for us. I've typed int I to declare a new variable called I, and it's pretty vague, but you might see that there is a squiggle here under I. And if I hover over this, then NetBeans tells me that variable I is not used. In a really complex program with a lot of variables, this can be really useful, detecting which variables have been used and which not. So NetBeans does all sorts of stuff, some of which I will not go into detail right now, but you will discover while you write more complex programs. Before we move on, let's see how this project looks like on the file system. So I've asked NetBeans to create all my projects into this In1007 directory on C. So it did, and if we open Hello World here, we're going to see that NetBeans created several subdirectories in it. One of them is called src, and this is where all our Java source code files will be stored. Another one is called build, and this is where the compiled code is located. So NetBeans will use a Java compiler to take the code that we write and compile it into Java code that can be run on a Java virtual machine on my computer.